Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospects and Showing One. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have,
Braden.
and we're going to be watching some Jedrick Wills tape with you guys today. I know that we've been trying to get this set up for a long time, but have you ever gotten a chance to watch Willis, whether that be within the last couple hours or before?
Not yet.
Awesome. So we're both going into this pretty fresh. I actually haven't watched him yet either. I've kind of been waiting until he declares. So this is my first time as well, which is good. He is a third-year junior for Alabama. For those of you guys who aren't familiar, he is an offensive tackle. Apparently, they have Mark Jarvis, who's the one who makes the database. Shout out to Mark. Has him listed as a guard for whatever reason. He's listed at 6'4", 320 pounds, and no concern about age or anything like that. So, uh, overall, you said that you haven't watched him yet either, which is
Correct.
awesome. So we're both going to do this fresh. But he is from the
Besides,
AFC.
like watching him live and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he is from Alabama. So do you remember anything from the Alabama offensive line that you've gotten to see over the course of this season?
Not a whole lot. The only play I remember was against the Auburn, where he had a false start, then he went absolutely that shit crazy on his teammates. That's the only real play I remember.
Interesting. Okay. So, not really too much in terms of background, injury, character, all that stuff. Yeah, which is fine. But shout out to Mark for putting this together for us. So, we're going to end up getting to the Michigan game, but do you have a preference for LSU or Auburn? I'd like to go with LSU because I watched Thomas versus LSU personally.
Let's start LSU. Why not?
Okay. So if I remember correctly, he
He's
should
the right
be the right
tackle in
tackle.
71. Should be 71 overall. His number, not overall. Sorry. His number 71.
Oh my gosh, finally. I've been trying to get this thing set up for what, 2 hours now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Oh my, please, YouTube work.
Well, it just takes a little bit to buffer. Oh yeah, and the quality. Oh my god, the quality. Holy crap. Uh...
This is a pruder film. 720p. That is, I'm gonna call cap on that one. That is
Oh
some
my god.
cap.
Okay. If we made a blooper video, that would be going in the blooper video. That is hilarious. That is absolutely not 720.
I don't think that's even 20.
Oh my
As I
god.
said, there's a pruder film is more clear than this shit. Like I can't see a damn thing. There we go.
Part of it may be the original film, maybe. I doubt it, but like the weird sun thing probably doesn't help. Okay, so anyway, finally getting into this. I like the aggressiveness. I'm assuming that was him at right tackle.
Yeah, 74, not 71. My bad.
Ooh, okay. He got out there quick to try and get the Caleb on. Okay. Pulling RPO there. Just I'm not getting the hands too high up. This does a pretty decent job of staying engaged with KLC. Nice patience. Interesting how he ended up getting out of this kick really deep, probably assuming that KLC was going to come around the end, but ends up transitioning if need be. Nice blitz call by Miranda. Okay, good hand placement, getting his hands in the chest. Also seems to have reasonably respectable arm length as well. In terms of tackle transition. That was an interesting play. I'm sure that that's probably by design, but I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan of that blitz pickup. Another very interesting play. Oh, okay. So again, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this LSU tape is when I was watching Andrew Thomas a couple hours ago before we tried to do this. He did a really nice job, obviously left tackle side, of getting his kick all the way out to get basically win the edge against Caleb. I was wondering if we would see the same thing from Wills here. And this play is kind of a great example of what I'm looking for. Obviously, Caleb a very explosive, high burst athlete, one of those guys who's really quick to win around the end. And Jedrick is able to get out in front of him, which is fantastic. He's able to get that nice quick kick, position himself, and take out Caleb on his angle direct rush. Nice transition. I really like his ability to switch this. LSU runs this nice little stunt around the end, and he does a nice job of taking on 43. Helps free 2 up for a scramble, too. Oof. Okay. First major whiff. Okay, pretty good anchor. I'm pretty sure that's Rashard Lawrence, maybe? No, Rashard Lawrence is 90. Either way, LSU looks to be a big defensive lineman, probably power rusher. Like they have a lot of on that team. Does a pretty nice job of anchoring. Same thing. Again, Kalon comes in, tries to get a nice big time push with the initial first punch. And once he gets past that initial phase of giving up that collapse, he restarts really nicely and anchors well. Nice play. I don't know who 92 is. Nice catch. Okay, tight end, so he's actually second guy from the end on this one. Okay. Interesting execution for a double team, but not the end of the world. Hand placement? No, he got inside hands. What do you think about this play?
Sorry, can you go back? I like the initial push, but it seems like at the end the defensive end was able to kind of like shed off of him and back to the inside or outside actually. So it's like it's interesting because I like the initial push he gets, but I I, I don't know if it's a hand. I think it's more kind of a hand placement problem to where on that specific play to where he wouldn't get back outside on the block shed.
That was my thinking too, but typically you do want to see inside hands.
Yeah. So I think it's like it's just one of those plays where just you do it right. It's just it just for some reason it doesn't work. So I got 9 out of 10 times. I think that play on that technique would have worked.
He does a really nice job of getting. I'm surprised, honestly. He's doing a pretty good job of getting outside with his kick. And he's doing a really nice job of this transition as well. He's able to take that stunt really nice. So he definitely has that athleticism and IQ combo. His shove staying engaged, good arm length. Okay. I like the idea of trying to get the seal. Oh, yeah, that was interesting. He kind of got overpowered a little bit at the end. He's going to be right in here. And then 92 just kind of gets him on the ground. Nice anchor on that play, though. About the only guy in the whole line to hold. Screen pass. I personally would like to see him block a little bit less with the shoulder. And if you're going to commit to that block, move out a little bit more, utilize the angle a little bit better. But he does a really nice job with that with number 6. So okay. Great anchor. Nice shove resetting against the bull. Also, one thing I want to point out is totally unrelated to Wills is Jerry Judy has a lot more drops in this game than
Mm-hmm. He's had a lot more drops this season in general. Really good
nice.
anchor right there.
Hmm?
I was saying he had a good anchor right there.
And the other thing too I like is his body control and positioning. The way he kind of lets himself uh, take 43 out of this play. Just doesn't get too wild and kind of just stays in spot. Same thing there. He's not like trying too hard to be overly aggressive. He's just kind of letting his body do the work for him. He feels a lot more natural at right tackle. I still want to see less shoulder blocking though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Nice double team. That was a ridiculous catch.
Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle had good games in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not athletic enough to keep up with Caleb on. That's just not happening. Okay, I like the way he was able to bend this rusher around the pocket. gets that inside positioning and then just forces him around in the end. Good recovery. Same thing, just completely
Same
forced
thing.
him around the end.
The term that I heard one time and I liked about that play is he took him to McDonald's. You know, with those arches. That's Arnov. You know, he said that once, and I've used it ever since.
That was a really late jump.
Yeah, I don't know if that's yeah, very interesting.
It hasn't been an issue on the other plays. Just
No, it's the first time it happens, so I'm not gonna say it's a problem for one time. You know, sometimes
well, I don't even think that's necessarily a problem, but
just interesting.
yeah, it's just a really weird.
Great push.
And I like how he resets this too, right? At this point in the
Hmm.
play, he has these two guys on him, kind of just refocuses and ends up using that angle to redirect. Nice hand placement. Very nice hand placement. Eventually got bowled over at the very end, but he gave to a plenty of time there, to be honest.
Leatherwood did not.
Again, he's doing a really nice job just resetting here, keeping his hands free, making sure that the defensive lineman isn't able to get around him. Okay, nice place pickup, especially from a unique look like that.
Great catch by future Denver Bronco Henry Ruggs.
Oh, nice
Oh dear.
move. And that'll happen, especially considering it's Caleb. That's one of the reasons why I love Caleb so much. Everyone probably already knows that. But, yep, just gets a little bit too far outside and easy moves. Nice anchor and redirect, especially in power situation. That's a play where you're normally expecting them to send heat. They do. Uh, he ends up keeping the pocket, well, helping keep the pocket clean on third and one. He seems to have utilize a lot more power than Andrew Thomas does, which is interesting to me. Thomas relies a lot more on his athleticism to win than Wills has so far, which is part of why Wills isn't as doing as hot against Caleb. It's because Caleb is such an athletic freak, but he's able to handle Lawrence and the defensive tackles a lot better. I still think he has the athletic ability to play tackle, but
I, yeah, I think he could honestly play left tackle too.
nice patience. And was that deflected? Yeah, it was. Okay. Oh, that was beautiful hole opening. Out of the way that he ends up. Okay, first off, aggressive first punch, which is probably the biggest difference in favor of Wills so far compared to Andrew Thomas. He does a much better job of being that nice, aggressive first punch. And he's a really nice job for if this were a run play. That hole is wide open for Najee up the middle. Again, nice redirection outside. Doing a really nice job of cutting off the right pathway. So, overall thoughts on the first game?
Very impressive. You know, great. He showed a lot of great things in that with hand placement, anchor, pickups on blitzes. You know, able to redirect people and in the way he was able to win in multiple ways in that game.
So I'm pretty sure you've already seen some of Thomas and Worse, right?
Very much, yes.
Okay, how will you compare him based on that game so far to
Like
those two?
just like style ranking or like
Like
just
in
like
terms of, I want this guy over this guy over this guy.
I'd probably go Thomas, Wills, and then
Worse third?
Worse.
Yeah, I agree.
All three would be very good, and I would take either one of them, but that's just my personal ranking.
Where was he on this play? Oh, okay. Right? Yeah, okay. So this game should be interesting because he's not going to have any help from the inside. Obviously, your guards are going to mostly be responsible for handling Brown when he's on the field. So we're going to get to see a little bit of isolation work here for Wills. And that could be interesting to see how he handles one-on-one. Koei or Ko and Davidson, two reasonably respectful pass rushers, at least at the collegiate level. Specifically Marlon Davidson.
That's offsides.
Oh, was it? I thought he just, I thought he jumped it.
Ah, you just got that right.
That's just really nicely timed. That was a good no
Hmm.
call. Okay. Nice patience. I like how he's not being overzealous. Nice job getting out the double team. That was a very risky hurdle. Would like to see him utilize that angle a little bit better. That's again something that we've already talked about a few times with the shoulder blocking. This time, not really so much shoulder blocking, so much as he's giving up this inside rush a little too easily. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I was referring to that isolation matchup. We're going to see him a lot in one-on-one situations in this game because that right guard's going to be on Derek Brown. And this particular instance, it results in him giving up that inside rush. Doesn't really matter though, because two of his other matchups is going to shove getting the ball out. There you go. That was a much better job. He adjusts here. He's learned from some of the previous plays, and he does a really nice job of getting inside real quick here. And it helps first off with the double team, but also he's able to get off that double team and take on that tackle from inside position, which helps free up that angle. That's really nice adjustment on his part. Same thing there. Doesn't kick as far deep, and it works out for him. He just does a really nice job of staying patient, utilizing that angle, and then blocking it out and around. Yeah, he's definitely adjusted. It's good to see. Really early on too, still early in the first quarter. Same thing, much more patient. Love to see that. Yep, perfect. Same thing. He's doing a much better job after that first drive or so. He's staying a lot closer to the line, being a lot more patient, and taking away that inside lane forcing these Auburn power rushers around the end where they're not as comfortable and able to win as effectively. That was nice. Good aggressiveness. Oh, nice ability to get to second level. That's nice. Fun to see. Just slips right through the gap and then attacks linebacker. Actually helped take Derek Brown out of that play. Okay. Again, really nicely executed block. Ooh. I like his reaction time. Other than that one play that we talked about earlier, he's doing a really nice job of getting off this ball quick and reacting well to the snap point, which is a plus. Same thing there. Really nice, quick, athletic feet. Boom. Not laboring too much. Not exhausting too much energy. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and he finished. That's a good run block for right tackle. Bam. And just knocks him to the ground. That's a W for sure. Nice patience. Same thing, and it works. That adjustment's really helping him out. And he's so much more patient, and it's working really well. Watch how this time he's a little bit more protective of that inside angle, and he tries to angle outwards, knowing that he's probably going to have a better chance of winning inside, and then he's able to adjust to that inside spin counter. That's really, really nice patience. And nice job of not overcommitting. And that time he just tries to let him go right around the end. Realizes that nice hand swipe to try and force him around the end. That's a great adjustment by Alabama's offensive line coach too. Same thing. Again, focus on protecting that interior rush. Oh man. Got a little bit of push on Brown there. Same thing. Holy crap. Okay. Boom. That was Marlon Davidson, I think, but he ended up pancaking him. Hoping to get the touchdown. Nice athleticism, great second level block. Nice. And yeah, again, this is the kind of athleticism he has, right? And number one, I think, is their equivalent of a Joker or Viper. And he's basically an athletic linebacker type. And Wills has the athleticism to be able to keep up with him and keep around the end. So definitely does not lack the athleticism that you need for an offensive tackle. He'll have the quickness to be able to keep up with your quicker outside bend rushers. But he also has nice strength to pair with that in terms of his run blocking ability, his ability to work against power rushers, like we're seeing in Marlon Davidson as well. Oh my God, Derek Brown. Oh man, him and Caleb Long are my two biggest draft crushes this year. Oh, look at the quickness. This is really, really nice. And it's not like Andrew Thomas, right? He's not flashy by, he's not explosive. Like, oh my god, that's great athleticism. But he does things like this every once in a while, and that was a really, really good time jump by number one. I think his name is like Cat, Kat or something, Big Cat Bryant or something. And he ends up doing a really nice job of, man, just preventing him from winning that edge. That's really, really nicely done. Yeah, definitely no shortage of athletic ability, which is great. Markevius? Markevius Bryant? That's where it is. Oh, again, right? It's that spin move. And this is why I like pass rushers who have a complete move set, because Wills has done a really nice job all game of protecting against that bull rush, protecting against that outside bend. He has the quickness to be able to get to the edge, but he also has the strength to be able to win against that bull rush. But he's still struggling a little bit against that inside counter move, like we saw against Chase Down, and it almost results in a sack if he doesn't get it out quick. And that's why I want to see him keep working a little bit on protecting that inside rush, because if he gives that inside lane up, that's even worse than giving up that edge around the end. Because it's a lot easier to counter bend than it is to counter an inside move. Nice second level block. Nice anchor. Again, excellent job getting the second level. Boom. Nice assist with the chip. And it goes right up to take the linebacker. Oh, wow. He definitely got out in front there. Yeah, he's definitely a top tier athlete. Hand placement. Nice fluidity. Yep, exactly, right? This particular play, he protects that inside rush, takes that inside leverage, makes sure the edge rusher, I'm pretty sure, no, it's not Ryan, it's the other one, gets around the end here, and because he tries to win with Ben, Wills is able to counter that pretty easily and end up forcing him to the ground. That's another one of those reasons why I say it's easier to counter that bend, because all you have to do is either push around the pocket or just catch him off balance. Whereas an inside move, they get that direct shot right at the QB. So I really want to see him just continue to work once he gets to the next level on protecting that inside rush first and then working out. Like he does there, same thing. Really nice job.
That was one of the flukiest plays I've ever seen.
Let's play the one over in that game. That's a 14-point swing.
Yeah,
He's doing a really nice job with his second level blocking. I was a little bit surprised by that. Yep, nice patience. Again,
oh,
another
Judy.
GD drop. Now you kind of see what I was going on about in Lions Chef, right?
About what?
About with Judy. Did you
I
miss
don't
that
remember
combo?
that.
Oh, yeah, we had a huge combo in Lions Chat about Judy.
You'll have to tell me that after we end this.
Okay, much better, right? He stays a little bit more patient. Now he still
He
gives up
just
this inside lane a little bit, which is why he tries to attack that lane. All comes back to Derek Brown being right there next to him. It helps free up that inside move a little bit. But he does a really nice job of reacting to that this time, adjusting to that, and taking him out of the play. That's really nicely done. And those are the kind of matchups I wanted to watch this game for. I wanted to see how he would handle having that kind of presence. Same thing. Much better job reacting to that inside counter. Bam. Brian just tries to get around the inside, and he still kind of does at the end, but he's not able to shoot through right the direct lane. It's a really nice adjustment by Wills. He's doing a great job of reacting to these adjustments. It's good coaching, first off, but also
mhm.
making him very coachable as a player, which is great to see that play out on tape. Nice patience. Okay, nice job reacting again. Right, you're gonna see him get really far out with this initial first move, but then he resets and then comes back across the inside to take away that inside lane. Nicely done. Nice use of the angle there. I really like how he actually utilized this angle on this play, because it helps free up that hole. Right, the right guard actually does a pretty decent job of maintaining straight leverage on Derek Brown, which doesn't happen too often, but double team kind of helps with that. And he ends up taking this defender out of the play. I'm pretty sure it's Marquise Bryant again. Just did a great job protecting that inside move. Nice anchor. Also like his hands on the shoulder pads too. He's doing a really nice job of maintaining control of the defender. I'd like to see him get to second level, but oh well. That time it does. Right, perfect. There you go. Again, adjustment, right? This Marquise Bryant's been doing a nice job of weighing around that inside move. So what he does is he first protects that leverage and gives that outside leverage to Bryant, and then tries to force him around the end. Bryant, before getting too far back, tries to counter back inside, and then Will's great stop and go first off, or rather go with and stop, I guess. Counters, nice change of direction, quick lateral agility, is able to respect that counter move. That's a fantastic adjustment. It goes to show how well he's been doing that over the course of the game too. He's been getting better and better and better against that move. It's good to see. Nice. Love the way he's able to utilize the single against Derek Brown. Does a really nice job of realizing where this run is going to be. Good awareness of the play call, blah blah blah. But he does a really nice job of trying to keep Brown as far inside of this play as possible
Mhm.
to open up that lane for Najee Harris. Let's push. So, first up, before I ask you, would you like to watch the Michigan third game or no?
No, I'm all right.
Okay, cool. So, what are your thoughts overall then on Jedrick Wills?
He's very good. He's very solid. You know, he's definitely has athleticism to play both tackle spots, in my opinion. But at the same time, he has solid technique with his hand placement. You know, with his anchor, his the way he's able to adjust, and whether it's just to an inside counter or take someone outside. I think he's a great overall. You know, I think he's a very solid player.
Nice. So, uh, what do you think going in while I'm typing these things in here? Where do you think that we're going to end up putting him?
Probably around 88 to 90 in that range.
Interesting. Okay. So today we watched the Auburn
LSU
19
19.
games, and well, actually, yeah, we'll put LSU first, and then the Auburn game. And then I will end up watching a third game, probably Michigan one, on my own. I recommend if you guys want to watch more on your own, you guys do the same as well. Obviously, the more tape that you guys want to watch, the better, especially if you want your team to take him. So, with that being said, I'm going to go over my thoughts and my grades. These are my categories here at the top in row one. So, the first category is natural strength. I'm going to go with a
I'd
9.
go at 9.
Anchor, same thing.
9.
I actually thought that he probably could have done a little bit better against those power rushers, but at that point, still, he's done a really solid job. He's able to kind of restrict that collapse, but there were a couple of plays we saw him get moved a little bit, so uh, not really terrible or bad or anything stand out, but not exactly one of those guys who 100% of the time held the line either. Awareness I like. I don't know if I could put it in that top class though.
No, I'd put it at 9.
Hand placement, same kind of deal, I think.
I'd honestly give hand placement a 10. I loved how he used his hand placement personally.
Okay. Footwork for me, I will go with a 10 though.
I agree though. Yeah.
That was really, really nicely done. And I like that he didn't overcommit very often. He was able to reset nicely. Uh, Very quick and agile too. He's not just one of those guys who's
Hmm.
fast, who we'll get into with that. But um, he was able to kind of change that direction quickly. He was able to adjust very quickly in the moment, and from an athletic standpoint. So that was really nice to see. And he also has the ability to come up and get to second level consistently. He has the ability to consistently get to the point of attack and his spot on the line to counter those bendy rushers, to counter those inside moves. So he was actually doing a really nice job in terms of fluidity with the upper body as well as the actual feet. So I'm really pleased with his athletic ability, and I ended up moving Thomas up to a 10. These are my old grades. So man capable along with that, also a 10. I really like his ability to kind of win with that power at the point of attack, but he also has the ability to fight double teams. He also has the ability to get to the second level. I'm sure if you wanted to pull him or seal him or whatever, he could do those things consistently well, based on the other traits that we were able to see. So, not at all concerned about his ability to play in either scheme. Just
Hmm.
really playbook thing there. Angles is probably the one big knock I would have to say I have on him, and it's not like it was bad, which is why I'm not going to go all the way down to a 5, but I definitely want to see him block a little bit less with the shoulder. I want to see him do a little bit better um, in terms of winning those different types of leverages against those different types of rushers. From a consistency standpoint, we talked about how he's able to adjust over games and make those corrections over the course of time. But I just kind of want to see a little bit more from him in terms of, okay, I need to be able to kind of straighten up here. and then adjust. I need to be able to kind of limit this guy's inside ability, so I'm going to take away that inside reinforcement. I want to see a little bit more pre-playing thought, and you also want to see a little bit more after the play as well, in terms of, okay, so this is what happened, this is uh, basically where I'm at and where he is, and then taking that away and utilizing his hands to create and maximize those angles, and give himself the best leverage that he can in as many situations as he can. Seal
Hmm.
and pull blocking again,
We
not
didn't
really.
really see him do a lot of pulling though.
Yeah, I gave Thomas a 9 though too. I bumped him up in that area even though we didn't see him pull. That's pull
I'd
blocking is
personally
mainly
give
for
an 8.
guards, to be honest, because I
Yeah.
keep all my offensive linemen. I use the same scale.
Yeah, I'd personally go down to 8 just because we didn't see him do it a lot. Not, but again, that's just me, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm just that's more like okay. So this is keep in mind this is for guards and tackles and singers. Like I have the audition, same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. I'm just saying.
So tackles
That's
are
just
tackles aren't necessarily going to have to pull
yeah. I
very
feel
much.
that. I'm just giving my personal
Okay.
takes on it. Like personally, I would move his movement skills down to a 9 personally.
Oh, okay.
But
Interesting.
again,
And
I
then
just don't like to give out tens. A lot. But again, it's just my opinion. I'm not going to tell you how to grade your
true.
own.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
being really loose this year, especially when it comes to linemen. Like I give Thomas like a 95. Uh,
yeah,
so I don't know. That's just how I feel like today, I guess.
yes, and no, I'm not saying how you should do it. I'm just saying that's how I would personally give it out.
Cool. I just honestly I like both.
Hmm.
I find it interesting to hear your own perspective as well as what you think about mine.
Yeah, like there's a couple. Like I'd move hand placement to 10, and, and move movement skills down to 9. And so yeah,
But overall, you probably end up around the same.
pretty similar. Yeah, it
Yeah,
may be like a point lower or two, but yeah, overall, I think we both came to the conclusion that he's a pretty damn good player.
sweet. So, overall, I'm just gonna 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95 minus 3, so 92 for me, which is pretty good. That's I ended up
Yeah,
moving Thomas down to a 95, so that puts him 3 points below Thomas, about the same as Tyler Biotish for me.
people have been saying that I can't pronounce the dude's name, but his film this year was terrible from what I've heard.
Who, Biotish?
Yeah, I've heard that his 19th film was not good.
Interesting. I watched those Michigan Ohio State games and it wasn't that bad.
Interesting, but anyway.
I am going to end up doing a rewatch because I have to watch the third game.
Hmm.
So, overall, any other conclusions that you'd like to add after going over my grades and my categories that you want to
Uh,
kind of.
yeah, I generally agree. He's not quite to the level of Andrew Thomas for me, but still think he's a very good player. Like all three of the top tackles, like Thomas, Wills, and Wirfs, are all three going to be very solid tackles, and I would be thrilled if the Broncos had the opportunity to take any one of them.
Nice. So, here is one discussion point that's kind of been going around in the draft community that I've heard.
Hmm.
Is Andrew Thomas this year kind of stagnated a little bit. He didn't really show a lot of improvement.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
Wills had a very huge jump. Apparently, his 18 tape was kind of okay, mediocre, and this year he looks really, really good. So,
yeah.
which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the guy who's been consistently solid for 2 or 3 years, or do you prefer the guy who's shown the ability to grow and develop and get closer to his potential as time goes on?
Normal. I mean, it's hard to say in a vacuum. In a vacuum, you'd always choose the player who shows improvement. But in this case, I don't know necessarily how much better Andrew Thomas could get for a college facing college competition, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
So I yeah, as I said before, both are going to be very good tackles in the league. So along with worse. So normally in a vacuum, you definitely prefer the guy who gets better. But in this case, I don't know if that's necessarily the case because of how good Andrew Thomas was to begin with.
Yep, I'm right there with you. So how high do you think worse or not worse? How high do you think Wills could and or should end up going? Do you have a spot?
I think he's going to go top 10. Honestly, I think we could easily see all three go top 10.
Any particular teams that you might like?
Uh, I'm not going to say fits necessarily, obviously, because some will change, but I think the Giants should take a tackle.
Should.
Uh, should. Keyword is should. Yeah. Will they? They're probably going to take a defensive tackle,
Yep. Derek
knowing
Brown.
Gettleman, but no, right after they give Leonard Williams an extension. Anyway, that's a different discussion. But yeah, the Giants should take a tackle. The R words could take a tackle, although I don't think it. They're going to take Chase Young.
Yep, exactly.
I think the Lions could take Wills, honestly. I think or Thomas because Wagner's getting up there in age and stuff, so I think they may feel like they need another tackle
Salary
to
cap.
help. Yeah, and especially his salary cap to help Stafford. So I feel like they could take a tackle. I don't necessarily think it's the highest choice, but I wouldn't be floored if they took one. You know.
Right, and as of today, we're watching this at the beginning of January. Happy 2020 as well for all you guys. But it is very
My
possible in
apologies
a
to
month or
anyone who
two
gets
that Wagner is no longer on the team. He's a possible cap casualty. So
or
if
he
we
may
sit here
retire,
2 months from now, what?
or he may retire.
I don't think about that. He's only 29.
Oh, he's only 29?
Yeah, he might
Word,
be 30.
I thought he was older than that. That's my bad.
No, he's not
Hmm,
that old.
my bad. I don't know
But
why I thought, yeah, no.
but yeah,
Also,
he would be quite a bit of cap savings. I think we save like 8 million if we cut him.
oh, yeah,
And he was the 28th best run blocking right tackle this year.
yeah,
So that is one of those areas where maybe we see a little bit of cap casualty 2 or 3 months down the road, and we're looking at this video again in April, saying, "Hey, he would be a fantastic fit for Detroit." So
at right tackle. Yeah, so there's also, I think the Jets also should take a tackle to help Darnold. And I think the Browns could also take a tackle,
Chargers,
especially if the Chargers could take a tackle, although I think the Chargers are going to take a quarterback, to be honest with you,
interesting.
unless they get Tom Brady. But I think
Oh,
the Giants could take the Giants. The Chargers could take definitely a quarterback.
interesting. So there you
Also,
go. Oh,
maybe the Dolphins want to take a tackle if they don't if they
that
want
would
to
be so good.
if they take a tackle to help if maybe and draft a quarterback at 18 or wherever the Texans pick may end up being.
Or
So
trade
I
up
think
with their other two picks.
trade up with their other two picks to get a tackle after they take Tua or whatever. So there's definitely a lot of and there may also be a team that trades up and gets one of these tackles. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if all three go in the top 10.
Yep, definitely. Well, today was very, very interesting. I'm very glad
Yeah,
that we finally got around to watching him. I've been waiting to do this since probably 2 months now.
yeah,
But um, hopefully, you guys enjoyed this one, learned a thing or two along with us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more future content like this as well. Hope you guys had a fantastic start to the new year, and can't wait to see you guys more over the next couple days, weeks, months. Especially with Senior Bowl coming up. Lions get to coach the Senior Bowl. Hallelujah. Can't wait for that. This is going to be so hyped this year. So I'm definitely planning on going over a lot of those guys this year, especially knowing that we're going to be very active in that process. So, with that being said, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Is that all you had to say?
yeah.
But for now, peace out.